में क्या होता है जैसे इनिशियल स्टेजेस में ना उतना सही नहीं बैठता है जैसे मुझे भी काफी
Right. Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to learn formal greetings as well as informal greetings. So, dear students, what is the topic that I have taught you in the last week? Can you recall? Can you please text me the topic that I went through in the last week? Please let me know so that I can start. Is it formal and informal greetings? I think I have already finished, right, in the last class. Not finished, I suppose. Now, what do you think? What was the topic of spoken English that I was going through in the last week? In last Saturday, what was that I was teaching you? Can you please? Okay, speaking about time. Oh, thank you, Anusri. Thank you so much. So it was about time. So anyway, it's not a repeat. So I'm continuing with. I'm starting a new topic that is formal greetings. Okay. So dear students, as you can see here, there is a conversation between Graham and Lucy here. Graham says, "Good morning, Lucy. How are you doing?" So, dear students, when we meet someone for the first time, or might be after several days, we can say, "How are you doing?" So, "How are you doing" is another way of saying, "How are you?" Right? Instead of saying, "How are you?" you can also say, you can also ask, "How are you doing?" So, this is what you have to learn. How are you doing? Right? Okay. Next, Lucy replies, "Good morning, Graham. I am doing well. And you?" See, this is also important. In spoken English, what we do is, in spoken English, we do not repeat the sentence. For example, dear students, let me tell you. For example, let me tell you. They say, if I ask you, "Do you do exercise in the morning?" So you can tell me, "Yes, I do," or "No, I don't." So in spoken English, we use the short sentence actually, right? We use the short sentence, not the whole sentence. Like once again, like suppose, "Do you do exercise in the morning?" Yes, I do exercise in the morning. No, I don't do exercise in the morning. So in spoken English, we do not repeat the question once again. We tend to speak in short languages, right? So, do you do exercise in the morning? Yes, I do, or no, I don't, right? So that is what is usually followed in spoken English, right? To whatever extent you can shorten your make your sentence short, you please make it, right? So this is exactly what happened here. "How are you doing?" "Good morning, Graham. I am doing well. And you?" And you means how are you? Or what are you? How are you doing? So instead of again repeating what Graham said, Lucy said, "And you," right? So this is what this is the pattern that is followed in spoken English. Please do remember. "Good morning, Graham. I'm doing well," because she has to reply to Graham's question, "How are you doing?" So I am doing well, and you. Or Lucy can also say, ask, "What about you?" Right? So Graham said, "I'm great. Thank you. This is my friend Ranjita. She is thinking about applying to this college. Would you mind telling us about the process, please?" Okay. So, in this context, Graham is introducing his friend Ranjita to Lucy, right? So, you see here, "I'm great, thank you. This is my friend Ranjita. She's thinking about applying to this college. Would you mind telling us about the process, please?" So it seems that Lucy works in a college, okay, and she's in charge of admission process. Might be that is why Graham is asking Lucy about his friend Ranjita, right? So would you mind telling us about the process? So dear students, would you mind telling is another Another way of polite inquiry actually, right? Right. For example, would you mind visiting my house this evening? Would you mind coming down to my residence this evening? Would you mind telling me or giving me this information? Or would you mind coming a bit closer to me? So, would you mind is always followed by the ing of the main verb, right? Would you mind is always followed by the ing of the main verb, right? Would you mind coming? Would you mind visiting my house this evening? Would you mind doing this work? Would you mind coming with me to the market? So, would you mind is always followed by the ing of the main verb. Please do remember that, right? So, this is another sentence that we have learned. Would you mind telling? Would you mind informing? Would you mind visiting? Right? So this is a polite expression of asking someone something. Okay, polite way of asking someone something. Right? Okay. So now let's move on to the next one. That is, dear students, you see here. Lucy then replies, "Hello, Ranjita. It's a pleasure to meet you. I am more than happy to speak with you." See, this is, "I am more than happy to speak with you." Suppose you meet someone for the first time. You meet for someone for the first time. You are introduced to someone, right? Then you can say, "Hello, somebody. It's a pleasure to meet you." So you can say, "It's a pleasure to meet you," right? Don't simply keep quiet after saying hello, hello John, hello Graham, hello Lucy, hello Ranjita. After saying hello Ranjita, you should also say it's a pleasure to meet you, or it's pleasure meeting you, right? It's a pleasure meeting you. So you can say either it's a pleasure to meet you, or you can also say it's a pleasure meeting you. Then this is compulsory. "Hello Ranjita, it's a pleasure to meet you." So if you are introduced to somebody by somebody, okay, somewhere, so when you are introduced, or when you are introduced to the person for the first time, please do addressing with a hello or hi, and then you can also say it's a pleasure to meet you, or it's a pleasure meeting you. Till that time you say, okay, till that sentence you have to say, okay, understood? You have to reply. And dear student, there is a difference between hello and hi. Let me tell you, hello is usually used in more formal situation, or you can say hello is used with someone who is superior to you, or might be in more formal context. But hi is mostly used in the friend circle, in the brother sister circle, in the informal context. Okay, so hi is usually used in the informal context, whereas hello is used in the formal context. Okay, remember that. Supposing that you are interacting with someone in school, college. Formal means what? You are interacting with someone in school, college, or in an organization or an institution or an office. So it is better to use the word hello. Hello, okay, and especially with when you are interacting with an official, or interacting with someone who is senior to you. So it's better to use hello. Hi we normally use when we interact with someone who is very close to us, or very acquainted with us, like our friends, brothers, sisters, or father, mother, all this. Okay. Means in more informal situation we can say hi, formal situation we can say hello. I'm more than happy to speak with you. Please meet me once next week. Okay, please meet me once next week. Graham says then, "It's a pleasure to meet you, Lucy. It's a pleasure to meet you, Lucy. Thank you so much for helping us." So before, because Lucy might be having some preoccupation, some work at hand, so she cannot immediately help Ranjita. So she tells Ranjita, please meet me once next week. Okay, please do meet me once next week." So Graham says, "It's a pleasure to meet you, Lucy. Thank you so much for helping us." Okay. Then Lucy says, "Don't mention it. Hopefully I'll be able to help your friend out." Okay. Now, dear student, analysis. The greetings good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good evening are used at different times of the day to greet people. Good evening is often used after 6 p.m. or generally when the sun has set. Remember, we usually, what happens, dear students, we usually use the greeting good morning, good afternoon, good evening when the sun has set. When the sun has set, and good night is not a greeting. It is used when leaving a place or group of people. Good night is not a greeting. It is used when leaving a place or group of people. Thank you and good night. Good night and see you tomorrow. Right? So we use good night when leaving a place or a group of people, okay, in the evening, okay. Even if you leave at 7 o'clock from someone, 6 o'clock after the sunset, you can say good night, okay. You can say good night, right. So thank you and good night and see you tomorrow. If you meet someone and you are parting from him, if you are going from, if you are leaving him, in that case you can use good night. Then how are you doing is used to inquire about your well-being. Another way of saying how are you. Would you mind telling expression is used to ask for permission to do something, right? Would you mind telling, or to ask somebody in a polite way to do something, okay. So when we ask somebody in a polite way to do something, we say, or we ask, would you mind telling, would you mind coming, would you mind visiting, all this, right? Do you mind if I open the window? Would you mind explaining this poem to me? So, would you mind explaining this? If you are asking for permission, so would you mind explaining this point to me? Right? So, please remember this. Would you mind is always followed by ing of verb 1. That is, would you mind calling me in the afternoon? You are asking somebody in a polite way to do something. Would you mind calling me? So, would you mind is used either to ask for permission or to politely ask somebody to do something, right? Don't mention it is used in response to thank you is another way of saying you are welcome. So normally we say, or we are in the habit of saying you are welcome. So don't mention it is another way of saying you are welcome. The phrase you are welcome is more formal. However, responses such as don't mention it, no formal, no problem, happy to help are informal ways of responding. So don't mention it is informal like no problem or happy to help. They are the expressions which are used in response to thank you in informal context. But in formal context, we say you are welcome. That is more formal than don't mention it or no problem or happy to help. Okay. So dear students, this is all about formal greetings. Okay. So if you have any question, you can ask me from formal greeting. Okay. So if you have any question, you can ask me from formal greeting. Anything, if you have any doubt. Otherwise, I shall go ahead with the informal greeting now. Okay. Now let us study the informal greetings. Right. This is formal greetings. Informal greetings or spoken English. Informal greetings which belong to the category of spoken English. So again, there is a conversation, very short conversation, of course, between Graham and Lucy. Dear students, between Graham and Lucy, there is a very short conversation. Okay, so let's find out. For example, Graham is asking, "Hi Lucy, how is it going?" Right? How Lucy, how is it going? Okay. Now, how is it going is also another way of saying how are you doing? Fine, thanks. And you, same thing. And you means what about you? Right. So if someone is asking you how are you, you can say in reply I am fine, thank you. You also use the sentence thank you or the phrase thank you, right, after fine. If someone said how are you, ask you how are you, you say in response fine thanks or fine, I'm fine, thank you. And then you ask about him or her, and you, or and what about you. Please do remember that. Okay, this is the etiquette we have. This is the protocol that we have to follow. If someone asks you how are you doing, or how are you, or how is it going, so you shall respond in this manner: I'm fine, thank you. And you, and you ask about him or her also, how is she or how is he, right? So I'm fine, thank you. And you, or and what about you, right? So this is how you have to respond to someone's query. Then, just fine, where are you off to? So just fine, see, as I told you, dear students, what did I tell you? Instead of saying I am fine, just fine you can also use. Okay. What happens, dear students? Always remember that we should use the shortest possible sentences when we interact with people. Okay. So how are you? Just fine, thank you. And you? So see, instead of saying I am fine, thank you, what about you? So instead of this, you can say just fine, thanks, and you, right? So whatever short way you think you can reply to someone, you please do reply. Okay. Supposing that someone asks you like, "Have you done your work?" Yes, I have. Or no, I haven't yet. Okay. So in a short manner, you'll answer, right? Like for example, did you call your brother last evening? Yes, I did. Or no, I didn't. Understood? Yes, I did. Or no, I didn't. Did you meet your friend last evening? Yes, I did. Or no, I didn't. So always remember that in spoken English, we have to use the short sentence instead of repeating what the other person is, asking. We can make it short, dear students. We can make it short. Okay, like, did you meet your friend? No, I didn't meet my friend. Don't say in this manner. Say, no, I didn't. Did you meet your friend last evening? Yes, I did. Or no, I didn't. So please do remember this particular thing also. It's very important. Okay, like just fine. Where are you off to is another way of asking where are you going, right? Where are you off to is another way of asking where are you going. See, Lucy is responding to the library. So Lucy is again not extending the sentence. Lucy is not saying I am off to the library, or Lucy is not saying replying I am going to the library. Lucy is just saying to the library. So this is how you shall respond to the query, to the query made by the people, right? Instead of saying I'm going to the library, you can say to the library or off to the library, right? You can say. And what is the another way of asking where are you going? Where are you off to? Where are you off to means where are you going. So instead of saying I'm going to the library, in you say to the library, to the market, to my friend's house, something like that. Okay, don't repeat the sentence totally. Just say in this manner: I've got a science exam next week and need to start studying. Okay, I've got a science exam next week and need to start studying. Graham, oh no, oh no. Okay, oh no, when do you use oh no, we shall discuss this. When do you use we'll discuss this now after this conversation is over. We will I will see you later, then good luck, thanks, see you later, right? Now let's analyze. See, hi is an informal way of saying hello. It is a hi is more informal. Okay, it is an informal way of saying hello. How is it going is an informal way of saying how are you, right? How is it going is an informal way of saying how are you. Notice the rising tone, rising intonation on and you. So when you say and you, just don't say flatly and you. Okay, you say and you. Understood? So this is what is called intonation. Let me tell you, dear students, inform you what is an intonation. Intonation means, see, for example, like uh, have you seen my book? Have you seen my book? Or if you say, have you seen my book? No. Have you seen my book? Have you seen my book? So it's going up. Have you seen my book? So this is called intonation. Intonation is the rising and falling of tone is called intonation. Understood? For example, if I say, if you've been to Delhi last week, haven't you? Okay, you've been to Delhi last week, haven't you? So see, when I say haven't you, so my tone is going up. Okay, and when I say you've been to Delhi last week, so it is I started with you've been to Delhi last week. So the curve is from the bottom is going up gradually. Okay, and then sometimes in some sentences the curve will come down from the top. Right. So this fall and rise of tone is called intonation. So when we interact with people, we've got to maintain this intonation pattern actually. So when we ask people, and you means it's going up, right? Like, how are you? Fine, thank you. And you, so if to say and you don't say and you. If you say and you, then you are not maintaining the intonation pattern. You've got to maintain the intonation pattern, remember. Okay, so how to maintain the intonation pattern? When you say and you, understood, and you, so this is how you've got to maintain the intonation pattern. This shows that Lucy is interested in what Graham has to say. Where are you off to is an informal way of saying where are you going? Where are you going? So where are you off to is an informal way of saying where are you going, right? To the library. Notice that Lucy does not say I am going to the library, because that information was already established in the question. Yes. Where are you going? Or where are you off to? To the library. Why to repeat once again I am going? Because if someone asks you where are you going, don't say I am going to library. Say to the library. Because this information of going is already established in the question. So you don't have to repeat, right? So this is how the spoken English mechanism works. This is how the entire mechanism of spoken English works, right? Do you do exercise in the morning? Yes, I do. No, I don't. Okay, no need to say yes, I do exercise in the morning. No, I don't do exercise in the morning. No, understood? So next is UGH. What is when is the expression used? It is used when people make. It is the expression people make when they think that something is disgusting or unpleasant. If something is disgusting or something is unpleasant, then we make use of the expression called how can you eat that stuff? So if we are disappointed or if something is unpleasant, to show something in unpleasant, we use then oh no is also used. It's a way of saying I sympathize with you or I understand you are not happy. Oh no. Okay. Oh no, if you say oh no, so suppose I say I have been robbed last evening. Oh no. Then I'll say oh no. When did it happen? Right? Or how did it happen? But before that I'll say oh no. Oh no means I sympathize with you. Okay, or I understand that you are not happy. So you understood when to use oh no. Oh no is used in response to someone's information which the speaker has expressed in an unhappy manner. Okay, so used to express surprise, fear, joy, etc. Oh how wonderful! Oh no, I have broken it. Oh, suppose you break something and then you say oh no, I have broken it. Means I am not happy that I have done this, right? So, oh no, I have broken it. See you later is an informal way of saying goodbye, right? Instead of saying goodbye, you can also say see you later. So, dear students, I hope you understood, you learned some of the important things of spoken English. Please do use and oh no, and see you later. Okay, it is also available on my website, so you can study from there as well. I have explained you formal as well as informal greetings, right? Next week we shall I shall explain you some other topic, dear students. So you are getting ready for your next class, it seems. So thank you so much, dear students. We shall come up with a new topic on next Saturday, okay? And Monday we shall continue with our MCQ pattern of questions, right? Thank you, dear students. So before we wind up, kindly text me P so that I can register your presence, right? So dear students, please quickly text me P, and then we shall wind up our lesson today. Have a great weekend, dear students. Thank you, dear students. Thank you, all of you.